What's up, YouTube? In my opinion, there's nothing much better than making a race bike look like an actual race bike. The people down at Motocal sure do know how to help you make that happen. As long as you've got some time and some creativity, you can make your bike look just as professional as a factory prepped race bike. Now, I just got home from work and I am skipping the race this weekend because I do have a broken shoulder. And lo and behold, the Motocal decals that I ordered that I thought were going to be just on the edge of arrival for me to be able to get them installed in time for the race weekend, were actually here in time for the race weekend. So that's awesome. It's awesome that they followed through and they were able to get these out to me, but it kind of sucks that I won't be able to go out and ride this bike looking all fancy and fresh. So let's go ahead and open up this package. I am super excited. Now, the first step to any successful decal installation is to wash your bike. If you don't wash your bike, they're not going to fit right. You're going to have bubbles in them. It's going to be really difficult to do. So I'm going to wash it, and then I'm going to hand wipe it down with a microfiber cloth, and then we will get to installing the decals. Alright, after you get the bike sprayed down, you're going to want to dry it off with the microfiber cloth and look for any kind of defect in the plastic. Now, I noticed, or apparently when I went down the other day, I do have a scrape in my rear fender. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some really fine sandpaper. I'm going to sand this down so it's nice and smooth. So it's totally fine that I didn't get the deep scratches out of there, but basically what I did was I deburred it, and now the graphic is going to sit flush on the fender without bubbling. So I'm going to clean this up, I'm going to hand dry it, and we're going to get to sticking. Alright, next up, now that the bike is all clean, spot-free, and dry, you're going to want to take your seat off. Now, you won't have to take your seat off on all bikes, but it sure does make things a lot easier as far as lining things up and getting the graphics to wrap around the edges of the plastics. So on the KTM 500 EXC, it's actually one 8mm bolt underneath the rear fender. So I'm going to go ahead and get this seat popped off, and we're going to get right to it. Now, before we actually put on our first decal, there are two things I recommend we do before we start this process. One is to get your heat gun, plug it in, make sure it works because you are going to need it. And two is to test fit your decals. So to make sure that our decals are going to line up exactly how we want them, put the center on, then we put the left up to it, and we can see exactly where it's going to line up, and we can kind of push the center over with the left side so we can make sure that everything's going to line up perfectly. So now that I've tested that, I know exactly where I want the centerpiece to go. Let's go ahead and get that center stuck on. And there it is, a beautiful rear fender. It looks great. Got my number, got the cool logo I made, and of course, made you look. All right, it's finally done. From start to finish, this project took me probably about 2 hours. I've never actually put these decals on to used plastics before or older plastics. Usually whenever I'm doing these decals, they're on the brand new plastics and they go on super easy. So this time, there's some scratches, there's some wear, there's some low spots, and it was a lot harder to put these on. I mean, even though there were some bubbles that I had to work out, really take my time with the heat gun, I still think that it looks great, and it's really personalized to my taste, and it really puts off that feeling that I want from my race bikes. I'm really happy with the product. I'm really happy with Motocal as a company. I mean, really, for what you get and for what you can do on their website, their graphics are top-notch and really, really good value. So yes, it does suck that I did not get to race it this weekend, but I did get to spend some time with the bike. Putting decals on it, put my race number on it, put my special touch, put my cool logo that I came up with. A mix between the Orange Julius logo and the Kool-Aid logo, which says Orange Kool-Aid, which, as anybody knows, if you're drinking the Orange Kool-Aid, that means you're way too into KTMs, and that would be this guy right here, me. But overall, I am very happy with how the bike looks. I still have to add the KTM logos on the front radiator shrouds. That is the one downfall about Motocal, is that they do not have the licensing privileges in order to use the KTM logo. I find that really bizarre because they've got Yamaha, Suzuki, Honda, all of that stuff. They also don't have Ducati though, so I don't know if it's maybe a European thing, who knows. But hopefully, this helps you make a decision about who you want to go through to get your decals instead of just getting some generic stock factory looking decals from eBay, and you can get some custom decals. You can also, on their website, pay to have custom decals made by somebody else if you're really not on the artistic side. As far as me, myself, I feel totally capable of designing my own decals, so that's why I use them, and I freaking love it. So as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you click that like button, and if you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can see more videos like this from me in the future. And as always, do not forget to have a nice day.